Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Chasing Kilos podcast with Ross and Han. How are you doing, Han?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing?
Well, I was going to ask you how are you doing, and I was going to rephrase it as to, can you give me the weekly I feel tired update, please?
So this week on the I Feel Tired,
Yeah.
I have been blessed with the red demon. So
Ah.
anybody who doesn't know what the red demon is, it's just that time of the month that women have period. Okay, and I have it, and it makes me feel so tired. But like I've had like the worst cramps I've ever had in my whole life, and it's made me feel really miserable.
It was really tough in the gym today, wasn't it?
I don't know what it is. Sometimes I feel like sometimes I get it, like I get really bad cramps, but sometimes I don't at all. So it's like really, I don't know when to expect it, and then it just hits me, and I just think I don't want to do any of this. But I was quite happy. I've actually managed to do something in training.
You did it though.
Yeah,
You did everything.
yeah, just like at a much like lesser, like same workouts, just less intensity, like just less. I don't know how to describe
No,
it,
well,
just
you
less
just said it,
intensity.
right?
Yeah. Which obviously like it's a bit annoying because next week is my first individual elite CrossFit competition. Ah! And I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, the week before, it's gonna be the last hard week. I'm gonna be smashing it, bish, 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 bish. And then you get smacked with the red demon, and suddenly I'm questioning myself, like on every single level. Like today, I felt tired on the echo bike. I was like, oh my god, what if I feel like this next week on the echo bike and I can't push and I can't do anything and I get really scared?
I told you that it's not going to go away, your strength and your fitness. You just feel like crap this week. But you're not going to lose anything. You haven't lost anything. Your body's just fighting more than training right now.
Yeah, it's just hard though. Like,
yeah, but you're still doing it. You still did everything this session. You still
yes.
finished the workouts. You still did a workout with a 90 kilo sandbag.
Yeah.
So you're still doing it. Still did all your accessories, all the cardio. So if you're feeling tired but you're still getting it done, after next week when you have 4 or 5 days to chill.
Is that what happens after you do a competition? You take 4 or 5 days off?
No, next week is the week of the competition.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like after my competition I get 4 or 5 days off. I was like, what am I supposed to do with 4 or 5
But that
days
is what
not
people
training?
do.
Oh, right. Is that when I'm
People
supposed to figure out that I
people-
do other things other than
You
CrossFit?
don't do anything. So. But yeah, people take time off,
Oh, right.
like a few days.
Weird. This reminds me of, we were watching First Dates the other day on TV. Great show, by the way. And there was a bit where like the people ask you like, oh, what do you do? Or like, what do you do in your spare time? And Ross decided to tell me how, like I said to Ross, like, oh, will you tell me, like if I asked you on a date, like just tell me a little bit about yourself, like what you do.
I don't remember this at
You
all.
don't remember?
No.
And you said to me, you're like, if I were to tell you on a date about my day,
Yeah, it would be
it would
shocking. I don't do anything. Wake up knackered, eat, do some stuff, learn some Spanish in the morning, do some Spanish work, and then go to the gym for 3 or 4 hours. But that's why I wouldn't work on those shows. The problem with that show is that they get married at the end of it in the real world, and they'd be like, "Where do you go every day?" 3 or 4 hours.
And then why do you come back so tired?
Yeah.
And unwilling to do anything at all?
So tired. I said the same last week, but Jesus Christ. And I need to start stretching after I train, like whilst in the gym. Because I just tried to stretch now, and you couldn't see because you were in the shower. I did a lot of laying down.
I remember once I came home.
Oh, crap.
I think I went to the beach or something, or like went somewhere to read my book or whatever. And you were like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to the bedroom and stretch for a bit. I came back and you were asleep on the foam roller under your neck like that.
My neck hurts so bad. It's rock
just
solid
like
foam roller.
Cold. So funny.
That doesn't happen often.
No, of course not.
Our friend at the gym just goes to sleep in the gym.
I don't know how he does that. We'll do like a really hard workout and we'll like be sweating and it'll be really hard and like, out of breath, blah, blah, blah. He will lie down after the workout, straight to sleep.
With like heavy metal music playing on the speakers, like
yeah.
And we'll do the workout and he'll just lay down on the floor and he's just asleep.
It's incredible.
For like 20 minutes.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't get it either.
Anyways, podcast. Does programming matter?
Oh, that's a good segue. Really smoothly slip that into the conversation.
Well, you know me, smooth. So a few weeks ago, me and Ross got invited to go down to a gym here in Barcelona called Grit Programming. I think the gym's actually just called Grit, but
Well,
they
you
have
were
a
invited. I
yeah,
tagged along.
and they have a programming called Grit Programming as well. Anyway, so I thought that we were going to this gym because one of my friends trains there, and she was like, "Oh, come down and train with us. My girlfriend wants to train with you as well, so
Mm,
like see how it goes." Blah blah. No idea who the girlfriend was just innocently just gonna go down and have a good time. New gym, whatever.
yeah.
Anyway, so at the end, like when we get there, it's all a bit weird, wasn't it? It was just like felt a little bit, I don't know, strange.
Yeah, well, we also went with a different program to what they do. Everyone in
Yes,
this gym does the grit program, and we went with a rival program
yeah,
that we do because they're both Spanish programs.
yes. We should say that I don't know whether this is like a common thing in CrossFit boxes, but this particular gym, you can only do their programming. Like you can't go in and do another programming. You can only do theirs.
Yeah,
So like us going in and doing this other program was like a taboo thing.
yeah. I mean, it's quite rude, really,
Yeah. Anyways,
but we did it.
but we did
So,
it anyways.
woo!
And then at the end of the session, I got approached and was like asked to join their team that go to semi-finals or that are trying to go to semi-finals next year.
Yeah, they want a group of people to train together to be able to make one or two teams to
Yeah,
hopefully go to semi-finals.
and they were looking for another girl, and they thought that I would be a good fit.
Yeah,
So since then, like it's kind of got me thinking because they asked me, and obviously I was really flattered and excited because that's really cool. But also, I kind of like what we're doing now, like the program that we're doing now, and I didn't want to like deviate to another program that I don't know anything about.
mm.
That I wasn't sure would make me any better, and so we were kind of just thinking like, does the programming matter that much? Like, if I were to do this other program, if it's not like as good, like, does it matter for me as a fitness person?
Yeah. I mean, for one, we don't even know what is good really and what is bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, we just respond to whatever we're doing, I guess.
Yeah, how I don't know. It's weird because for me, like when we do weightlifting, I feel like if I saw a program, I'd be like, I know whether that's good or if that isn't good.
Yeah,
If
of
you saw it over
course.
like a
Yeah,
6 week block or
yeah,
whatever, you would look at it and just be like, oh, either good or not good.
yeah.
But with CrossFit, I have no idea what the markers are.
Because the one that we're on at the moment, we were doing with strength stuff. We've been doing first week fives, and then next week fours, and then threes, and the weight's been going up, and the reps have been coming down to one, and that was last week. And now we're just on. Now we do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in the session. I'm like, what did they get to 6 weeks and go? Oh crap, we got to squeeze 2 more weeks out. Let's just make them do it all in one. That's what it
Yeah,
feels like.
no, I agree.
That
But obviously,
that doesn't unless they've been building us up to be able to get to these weeks and be able to do basically all of it together, like to build up a
yeah,
tolerance to be able to do fives. I don't really know what they're doing.
like almost like they're adjusting you to the volume so that you
Yeah,
get used to more volume. Is that
yeah.
what you're saying?
I don't understand that, but then I don't understand the rest of the CrossFit programming either. I don't know. That's the only place, because I know weightlifting training, that's the only place where I can see where the progression is.
Yeah.
With all the other stuff, the WODs and the things like that, it's really hard to see a clear progression. The
Hmm.
cardio makes sense. It's like we get a minute less rest every
Or
week,
more calories every
or
week,
higher
or
calories and more
yeah,
rest. That makes sense. The squats going from fives to fours to threes to twos to ones gradually makes sense. I don't know how to make sense of the other stuff,
yeah.
you
I
know?
mean, in any case, when you think about programming, the thing that people always talk about is periodized programming, which
Mm,
just means that it's like an incremental increase
yeah,
every single week of whatever you're doing to make sure that your body is getting better at it.
yeah,
So I assume that the same principles apply for fitness, strength, bodybuilding, whatever it is.
yeah,
Every week you have to get better, then you reach a peak, then you take a deload, and you start again,
yeah.
just adjusting to your new abilities. I feel like it's the same, but obviously in CrossFit you don't do the same workouts every single week.
No.
So it's like, how do you do periodized programming
Mm.
with CrossFit workouts? It's weird.
Yeah, it's hard because CrossFit workouts seem to be a lot of the time. I'm sure there's method to it, but it seems to be someone's put their hand into like a bag of like Scrabble tiles and just like chucked them out onto the floor and gone, okay, put those things together and
Yeah,
do a workout.
yeah,
Like each tile has a different exercise, and it's like bosh, and then you go into another bag with some times, and it's like, oh, 5 minutes. Okay, every 5 minutes you do these three things.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because I remember when I used to train at Locker 27, the coach there,
in the UK.
yeah, in the UK, the coach there, his name was Mark Hill at the time. He used to be obsessed with doing stuff like that. He would have 2 die, and so he would go in and say, okay, today's session is clean and jerks, and he would roll 1 die, and that would be like the sets. So if 6 came up, it would be like 6 sets of, and then roll the die again, and you would get the reps. So if he rolled 6 and 6, you would do 6 times 6 of clean and jerks.
Well, that's ludicrous because that's just making it up on the spot.
Yeah, that's what he said, that it was like about being adaptable as an athlete and like being able to do stuff. I remember there was this one time it was like an actual, I think, an actual like training thing. You know how British weightlifting do those training days for like people who are really good and youngsters who are really good. And some famous English youngster came down. Again, my memory is excellent, so I know his name.
Yeah.
Some famous youngster came down and he rolled the die. And the famous youngster guy was like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Like, is this a joke? And he was like, no, this is what we're going to do today. You need to be adaptable. You need to learn how to change, blah, blah, blah. And obviously the coach who coaches this youngster is like very well known and like has like a very like specific structure, whereas Mark Hill was just sort of woo.
I thought he was just throwing his name out there.
Yeah. Oh well, it's not. I'm not saying like a bad thing.
But I was about to.
Differently.
It's always the people who, in my opinion, are useless that decide that they know the best ways to do things.
I think
you have to be able to adapt, or you have to be able to think on your feet and all this sort of crap.
I think every coach has a different mythology, and he was very much like mental fortitude and stuff like that, as opposed to like believing in like periodized programming, which is just scientifically proven. But anyways,
the different conversations to talk about coaches who just give people really weird, stupid stuff to do, stupid accessories, like jumping around like an idiot and doing stupid stuff. Right, that's a whole different conversation for a different time.
But I feel like that ties in specifically to the programming, because say you have a program and the coach is really good, but the program is rubbish. Like, as in, like, the coach, it gives you like really good technical cues, but the program isn't very good. It's like, are you going to get better or are you not?
It depends in what sport. In weightlifting, you might actually benefit from spending a few years with someone who is an unbelievable coach and gets you technically, I don't know, 20% better than you were before, 30% better than you were before. But then, yes, you would eventually have to move on and have a better program.
Yeah.
Because ultimately you need to be stronger and you need to be fitter. Or if you started in a CrossFit gym and the coach was really good and they taught you how to do ring muscle ups and they taught you how to do bar muscle ups and chest to bars, and the way they speak about it and the way that they teach you is amazing. But then the programming is just like, what the fuck is this? Like every single time, and you don't get like much better at CrossFit and more rounded, but you do learn how to do all of the skills. That is really good. But
it's hard. I think there's like a thing where I would say, if you're a beginner, it's equally important to have a great coach, but it's equally like doesn't really matter because you're just a beginner. Do you know what I mean? Like, what you're saying is it's great if you have someone who can teach you all of the stuff, but equally if you don't have someone to do that, it's kind of like that beginner slog of you're just going to pick it up as you go along. And I don't know whether one is better than the other, but if you were to have a good balance between the two, i.e. a coach who cares a bit and a program who actually does make sense, I feel like obviously then you would get better quicker.
Yeah, that's the perfect combination.
Yeah.
You've got the best coach and the best program. That's the best thing that you could hope for, right?
Yeah. Which is obviously, no one really knows what the best program is, and I feel like there's no like best coach because everybody responds like very differently to
and everybody who coaches thinks they are the best coach.
Well, that too,
right. I'm guilty of that as well.
You are a great coach.
Yeah, when you see people teaching other stuff in weightlifting, and you think, why are you teaching it like that?
Yeah,
and I think that's what everybody does.
I mean, that's something I spoke about on my YouTube channel a lot. It's like people give weird exercises for things that don't make sense, but do it because that's what they think is right.
Yeah.
But what's weird is that some people might respond to that. So it's like you'll never know what is good or what isn't good until you throw it out there in the ether, and then someone does it and someone responds to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a weird
I
like
think
dynamic.
ultimately, depending on what level you are, but even not depending on what level you are, I don't think the program, if this is what we're talking about today,
Yeah.
I don't think the program will define whether you will be good at CrossFit or not.
Hmm.
You either got the determination to work and the genetics and the physiology to be able to do the things that are required of you,
Yeah.
or you don't. And whatever program you're following, you're probably going to get better depending on who you are as a person and who you are as an athlete. Like if you're a complete, well, I don't think it really matters for any level. If you're elite and you're following any program, but you are elite, it's like the guy at our friend at the gym said, no matter what program Matt Fraser was following or doing, he
Yeah.
was probably always going to become Matt Fraser because he's just got that dog mentality
Yeah.
of just training alone in a garage and putting his head down and just working as hard as he possibly can. So I think if you have any program and just work as hard as you can at it, if you have the ability to be good and get better genetically and mentally, then
Yeah.
you probably will. And the only problem with some programs, like the grit one, is they seem to program almost unachievable things to be
Yeah.
able to do, like 36 calories in a minute on the rower,
Yeah.
which is outrageous for like rounds.
Well, I genuinely don't think that's possible for rounds unless you take like 5 minutes rest between each. It's like an all-out sprint, sprint, sprint.
Yeah, so I think the problem is not the program, and I think if you have the ability, you will progress. I think the only problem is you get given such unachievable goals you can't hit all the time.
Yeah.
You will become less motivated to do it because you'll
Yeah.
be thinking, well, they've put that on there. I can't hit that. So,
But it also makes you feel like they've obviously put it on there because they think that someone can do that. So
yeah.
it's like then it also gives you that feeling of like, well, I get that feeling of like inadequacy where you're like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
horrible.
I can't do that, so that's really
Yeah.
embarrassing, and I don't like that's awful. And then
Yeah.
you just like go internally on yourself thinking, oh, well, I'm really shit because I can't
Yeah.
do that. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I agree. I think that's why I like the program that we're doing now
Mm.
because whilst all the workouts are hard, it's like achievable things. With you think they're not achievable, but then when you do it and it actually is, and
Yeah.
whether you do it in your own time or whatever it is, like not as fast as everybody else, but you
Yeah.
can do it. So, like, example, they put 36 calories as a goal, whereas
Mm.
our program puts 20
So
to 30
30, yeah, it
calories.
gives you a range.
Yeah, but I agree. I think a program doesn't is kind of irrelevant if you are able, like, if you are willing to put in the work that you need to do to get better.
I think
But
so.
also, if someone gives you a program that is completely like there's no like thought process behind it in that they don't think about who you are as an athlete and what you're capable of,
Mm.
then it will just slowly chip away at you every day until you just decide I don't really want to do this anymore because I don't feel
Yeah.
good about it.
But then that's the debate about whether you follow a group program or whether you follow personal program as well.
Yeah.
Because if you have a personal program with someone who actually cares and someone who's good, they should hopefully be making you get better at things without you even realizing that you're getting better at them. And having a group program, like today, we have loads of pull ups and chest to bars. It's like, I have no, I have, I haven't developed a movement pattern
Halfway through the one,
to pull ups and
you
chest to
turn
bars.
to me
Like,
and you just go, none of those are the same.
yeah, no rep is the same. The first set of 10 or 15, every rep is the same. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm not doing an EMOM where I can stop for a minute
Yeah.
and then go again and try and replicate the exact same thing. I'm in a workout where I've got to do 50 and I've got to just throw myself up at the bar and just hope to God that it's a pull up or a chest to bar. I haven't got a clue, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes with group programming and just like everyone doing the same thing, you can get lost on your way of learning skills because you just don't because you're following a program that assumes you can do
Yeah.
this, and when you're following an elite program, they assume that you can do this
Yeah.
and you can do it well. Um,
It's hard though because in my experience, what I found is that if you do group programming, you will get better eventually. Like the things that you need to get better at will come up. They won't be like as focused on as if you were doing individual programming. But for me, the longevity of a group programming is so much more than individualized programming.
Yeah.
Because every time I've had an individual coach, for me, there's like a very specific lifespan. I like, obviously, we did individual programming for CrossFit, which didn't work out at all.
No.
Mainly because A, it was super expensive. B, it's hard with social media because you see individualized programming and then you see the same coach give everyone else the same
Yeah,
workout.
doing your individual program.
Yeah. So it's like, is it an individual program or you're giving me an individual
I
program?
mean, we are
like
all individuals following a program. If that's how they're trying to define it now.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel as though social media makes it really hard because the coach, like, how different can you make CrossFit workouts? But also, it's just when you have worked with one person, even with weightlifting, when you work for one person with such a long time, either they get lazy or you get lazy.
Yeah.
It's not your fault or their fault. It's just the way that it happens.
Or you just get used to it.
Yeah, and then you're just like,
settle in.
I need a change or I need to do something or whatever. And I feel like that's, for me, there's like this very like obvious cyclical cycle of programming where you either get, I know, I sounded so intelligent just then,
Caught me off guard.
where you start with someone, it goes really well, and then it sort of tapers off, and then you sort of get bored or they're not paying as much attention, and you change, go back to group programming, do that for a bit, realize that maybe you need to focus on some other stuff, go back to individual programming, and then just like go.
It's a vicious circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just constantly going round and round and round. Oh, this individualized one is stupid. I may as well just do a group one.
Yeah.
Go to the group one and think, I'm so crap at half of these things and they never come up. I need to get an individualized program.
Yeah.
And you're just going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I think you have to, no matter what program that you do, it seems that you have to also, if you want to get really good, or even if you're a beginner, you have to take it in your own time to work on the things that you're really bad at.
Yeah.
If you're following a group program, like if you're 2 days of the week or 3 days of the week at the moment for us are like lesser days where we just have, like tomorrow we have running, we have 25 minutes of snatching, and we have one workout with bar muscle ups. So it's not going to take as long as a normal session takes. So we have an hour at the end, and you can either decide to just leave the gym and come home and just be like, yep, finished. Or you can spend an hour doing little EMOMs or little technical things to try and work on the things that you're not very good at, like handstand pirouettes or handstand push-ups, and all things handstand, double unders, chest to bars, all of this sort of stuff, muscle-ups, all of these sort of things. You have to take it upon yourself.
So you're saying if you have a group program, it's then your responsibility to make it individualized, as in like you then have to self-identify what your problems are and then self-diagnose it, as in like program yourself some things, which isn't that hard. Like you have social media, you can Google stuff, and really if you're trying to get better at a skill, the only way to get better at it is to keep doing it. So it's really not that hard, especially in CrossFit. I find like it kind of like gets a little bit overcomplicated, and people are like, oh, if you want to do handstand walking, then you should do
Come on.
you should do.
Put your shoes on your hands and visualize.
Yeah, or like do like overhead walking, like carry or some stuff like that. Which obviously will all help, but unless you actually do the handstand, you're never going to get better at the
wall facing holds.
Yeah, is the only way to get better at those, in my opinion.
You can find, like you just said, you can find everything on Google.
Exactly.
If you follow a group program, it's not as expensive as long as it's a good one that's reputable, and you know that if you see the people that are out there doing it and they're really high level, it doesn't mean that you are going to be that high level, but at least you know that it works for people who are at a high level. And so do it, and then throughout the week, you just have to take it upon yourself. You can't just throughout the week, you have to identify, like you said, where you've got half an hour, and you think, well, Monday I had to do handstand walks and I couldn't do them. So on Tuesday, when I have an hour, I'm going to do loads of holds, and I'm just going to do that every single time that I have some spare time, or I'm going to do 100 double unders a day, like every other day, like we started to do at one point,
which did actually help a lot.
And we've done it before as well, where we've done it with different things. with handstand walking, with handstand push-ups.
We went through a phase of doing toast bar every single day.
Yeah, I would say the only way that we progressed as much as we did in a year is because we took the time, whilst following, for the most part, group programming. We took the time to just try and learn. And even once we had learned it, how do we get better at it? And what's the next step?
Yeah.
And you can just Google it, man. There's 4 million videos for everything.
There is. And sometimes it can actually be confusing.
Yeah.
But what I would say is pick one, do that for a bit. If it doesn't work for you, move on to something else. Like when I was into Double Under, I remember watching so many videos of keep your arms straight. No, you can put your arms out to the side. No movement in the elbow.
I still don't know.
And I still don't know, but I can actually do it now. Because like over the course of time, they'll give you cues, and some of them will work for you, some of them won't, and then you'll forget that, and then suddenly you'll think, oh, this thing helps me. Like for me, the only thing that helps me is to slow down, because otherwise I panic and go too fast, and that's literally the only thing that helps me.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the ring muscle up. It only took one person to say, stop trying to do a pull up as the ring muscle up. You have to actually like pull back on the rings to be able to pull yourself forward. Makes no sense. But then when we tried it, it's like, oh, okay. It only just took one person to say one thing.
Yeah.
Whereas you watch hundreds of videos about drills for it. So although we just said go and watch a video for it, you're not always going to find the right video. But as long as you keep looking, and you keep sifting through, it's the same when you've got an injury, like in your hip, and you watch one video, so you try that, and you think no, and then you find someone else said something else, so you try that, and then eventually something will work.
I feel like all of this stuff is trial and error, because like one of our friends right now has like chronically injured, has probably seen every single physio in Barcelona, and still nothing. So it's like you have to just keep going and keep trying to figure out what works for you, whatever it is, and then once you find it, you've got the magic.
Well, if I had to see a physio every time there was something wrong, I've got nerve pain in my right glute that I've had for weeks. It still hasn't gone away. And it doesn't stop me from doing stuff in the gym, but when I wake up in the morning, it fucking sucks.
Really?
Yeah. I told you about it like a few weeks ago. I haven't mentioned it since, but it just hasn't gone away. It's like really nervy in my glute med. And now I'm on a thing of trying adductor and Cossack squats and all that sort of thing to try and stabilize my hips a bit more, to maybe take the pressure off my glute, because rolling it and thinking it was my hips and my hip flexors and things causing it wasn't really doing anything for it. So try something else. It's not stopping me, but you've got to try something. Anyway, back to programming.
Yeah, but I think it's the same with individualized programming, because similar to the nutrition thing, you get in what you you get out what you put in. Like if I have an individual coach for CrossFit, but I neglect to tell him that I suck at double unders or suck at ring muscle ups, or I'm really rubbish at handstand push-ups, they're not going to put that in there, and they're not going to like fix it.
No.
So if you don't know yourself enough to know what you need to work on, I think whether you do group programming or individualized programming, you're not going to get any better.
I think from watching people, right?
I'm waiting for you to be really savage.
No. If you just do what's given to you, and you all the time only do what's given to you, nothing will get better. Nothing will change. I know people, and you know people, who will follow their program down to the T, even if they're given the most insane exercises to do.
Yeah.
And yet, from the outside looking in, you can see that nothing is changing. Nothing is getting better. Everything is the same. You are just following it, thinking, oh, it's fine. And there's people at the gym, when we have muscle ups or ring muscle ups, they will just jump up and do the exercise exactly how they've always done it, with no thought or intention to be making anything better or changing anything. They're just like, program says this, I can do it, so I will just do it as the program says. The program says do ring muscle ups, I will do ring muscle ups how I can do them. Not, okay, when I do these ring muscle ups, I need to try this because it's not right. The last time I did them, something is not right, and something needs to change. And it's the same with weightlifting. People are like, oh, I've got touch and go power snatch triples. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, I can do power snatch, so I will just do my power snatch triples with the same god awful technique that I've been doing it for years, instead of actually trying to change something. And I'm the only reason I got good at weightlifting is because I'm not the strongest person in terms of raw strength like squats and deadlifts, but it's just you have to just think all the time about doing something different or changing something
Yeah,
or
trying to be
working
better.
on something and being better, not just doing the program as written the way that you do it
Yeah,
regardless.
but I don't think that that's a common thing. Like, I think we both have irrational, obsessive
Ooh,
personalities, obsessional, obsessive personalities, whereby like when we do something, we
yeah,
then get like obsessed by it, have to be better at it, have to get better at it, get obsessed by it, just like get in this like bubble of doing
yeah,
it.
yeah. Which is
And
really bad, but really good at the same
yeah,
time.
it's like me and my showers at the moment.
Jesus
I
Christ.
am in a really bad cycle of only being able to take cold showers.
It's awful, man. It was cold today,
I
and you were
know.
shivering because you had to take a cold shower in the morning.
So
We get into bed, and you're shivering because you took a cold shower before you go
I,
to bed.
I wake up in the morning and I think I think it was just like a random thing. I was like, right, today I'm just gonna stand under the shower head as soon as it comes on, and I'm just gonna stand there and have a cold shower.
Yeah.
That was like 5 weeks ago.
And now, listeners, if she doesn't do it, she thinks she's failed.
No, I can't not wake up in the morning
Oh,
and not get under a cold shower because otherwise I feel like I have failed and I
it made
just
sense when it was 33 degrees outside and we were sweating like pigs.
yeah. But
Now
now
it's like today it was raining, and you were just sitting shivering, goosebumps all over your arms, so cold. Instead of having a nice warm shower,
yeah, I don't know.
you're a crazy person.
Yeah, but it's that obsessive personality where like you have to get better, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That's the only reason we've made the progress that we've made so far,
Yeah,
you know? But there are people out there that will be like, oh, I can't, nothing changed it. Like, I'm just not getting better. I just can't. It's because you're just doing the same thing
yeah,
over and over and over again. And you go and buy a different program and you go and have a different coach and they'll just give you the program and you'll download the program, the PDF, and you'll just do the same thing, but you'll be following a program, 3 muscle-ups. Okay, I'll just do my 3 muscle-ups like a gimp, like I normally do every single time, you know,
yeah,
and just be like, oh, I did 3s today. Whereas instead of actually trying to change something and work on something so that in a few months' time you can do 10s. And I think that's a big part of programming is your attitude. And we've just
towards the
waffled on about
programming.
it for about 20 minutes. But to sum up, basically, I think it doesn't matter really what program you're on. I think you should have a program that doesn't make you feel disheartened and feel like you can't do it.
Yeah,
You should have a program that feels achievable or has scaling options that feel achievable. But it doesn't matter what program you follow. I think it's more um, your mentality and your willingness to learn and to change things
yeah, from that
and
program.
to keep trying outside of your program that you've been given.
Yeah,
Also, a program can be really bad if it's not just unachievable, but also like if there's too much. I don't know what too much is on a CrossFit program. We do a lot.
full stop.
And a lot of people probably say it's too much, but maybe I think we've adapted to it a little bit now.
Yeah. Also,
But
I think with CrossFit, it's a lot easier to figure out whether it's too much for you and whether it's not. Because when we first started and we were doing a lot, I couldn't sleep at night
yeah,
because I was like chronically overtraining because I was so tired. I
yeah.
would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I had pains in my bones.
I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
like this,
yeah, wired.
wide awake, and I wouldn't get back to sleep.
I
I
remember
would be
coming and
so
sitting out
tired.
in the living room just for like an hour or 2 hours at a
Yeah.
time, and then falling asleep on the sofa, and then coming back to bed because it was just nothing. You just lay down in bed and you're like, I'm just like staring at the ceiling, like
It's so weird, isn't
I'm
it?
so tired,
Yeah.
I'm so awake.
Yeah.
But now I feel like we've adapted to it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now I sleep perfectly.
Now I'm never tired.
Never tired. But I think that is the best thing to do. If you feel like you're going too hard, slow down.
Yeah.
Find a program that's from a reputable person or place, whether it's group program, personalized, and then take the time to, on your own, try to fix stuff at the same time. Don't just rely on the program or rely on your coach to make you fix it
Yeah.
all the time. You
And
know?
also, don't be scared to like, because I know, especially like so right now, my ring muscle ups, I can do them. I can do ring muscle ups,
Yeah.
2s or 3s or whatever, but they're not very good. And I think there's a part of me that's scared that if I go back and learn, I'm not going to be able to do them again.
Yeah.
But I think that that's just like part of the thing
Yeah.
where you have to move back in order to move forwards.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to move forwards, but just terribly. And it's just, you said it to me before about snatching or clean and jerking. It's like you get obsessed with the weight that's on the bar. You either don't take the appropriate time needed to like fix your technique and do that sort of stuff and like go back to get better. So don't be afraid to fail because on something that you can do.
Yeah.
Because you want to make it better.
And it is easier said than done.
Obviously.
We're not angels at this.
No.
Like you're saying that and I'm thinking in my head, we can say that now, but then I'll be throwing shit across the room when it's not going well.
Punching walls.
Yeah.
Today I kicked a sandbag so hard.
Yeah, it hurt your toes.
Yeah. I kicked it and I was like, why did I kick a sandbag? Yeah. Who cares?
And how heavy was the sandbag?
91 kilos.
Did it move when you kicked it?
No.
Was it like kicking a wall?
Yes.
Yeah.
A very, very hard wall.
But I think your muscle ups, you don't have to go backwards per se. You just have to now, every time you muscle up, you have to move with an intent to be changing or trying something new.
Yeah.
Until the thing clicks in your head that you need to do.
Yeah.
And we both need to be doing more accessories for muscle ups, more upper body strength, dip strength, triceps, chest, etc. But that's irrelevant. But find a good program. Doesn't matter which one. Don't run yourself into the ground.
Yeah.
And
self-reflection is key.
Yeah. Be aware of your weaknesses and then be proactive to try and fix it.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to keep doing. Do you still want to go to Grit, by the way? As a gym and change? Because I really love the idea of it.
Yeah. I love the gym. I think the gym is so cool. And I think there's an element of me not wanting to go because I found like a little bit of a comfort spot where we are now. I think that it would do me well to change to like have new atmosphere and more challenging and blah blah blah.
Yeah. And more opportunities.
And more opportunities because like they have got really strong people. I think the only thing that worries me is that from what I've seen about the program, like what we've discussed, I really don't like it. And I don't want to be made feel, obviously I control how I feel, but I don't want to be made feel like I can't do something.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me about going there. It's like, I don't want to end up doing a program that makes me feel unmotivated. Because right now I'm really feeling like...
But we need to say to them, if it was to become an option, because we are really comfortable with where we are. We've got all of our friends there and the people that we love. But when we were with them at the weekend, we realised that at some point, probably everyone's going to sort of be branching off. You know, we've got big things coming up outside of the gym that we need to focus on, and everybody does have like their own ways of studying or work and all this sort of stuff. So we might end up splintering off. Anyway, I think because I've thought about it, and then having this conversation on here about the program has made me think about it even more. In that we do only see snippets of their program for a start.
Yeah.
I think if you were really in and behind the curtain, you would be able to ask the questions of why is the program like this, and also can I see the program
in advance
in an 8-week? Can you show me the broad spectrum of the program and tell me why are we starting here and ending here? Like what's the goal? And show me, you know, where it is the progressions are for us to get from here to here. And if they can't do that, then you know that maybe you know that the program is bad and they're just making it up and they're rolling the dice. But if they can say, look, this is where we're trying to start and this is where we're trying to end, and we're working on this for 3 or 6 weeks or whatever so that we can do this and we can progress from being able to do this to doing this and all of this sort of stuff. Maybe if we can actually sit down and speak to them and just hear what they have to say, especially because we're really, really sensitive about the weightlifting programming for places like this, because people don't understand that the reason that we are more strong than most people in CrossFit in this country at the moment, like we've got bigger snatches or bigger clean and jerks or bigger power cleans or whatever than a lot of people, is because we spent so long getting strong, you know, and only getting strong and doing that thing every single day. So you still need to have that in your program.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to weightlifting, which I don't think they really know how to do. They just love doing stupid complexes.
They do a lot of stupid complexes.
Yeah. So whereas we believe that if you're strong enough and you move well with the bar enough and you can move a light barbell really well, when the time calls for it, you'll be able to move a heavy barbell in a complex if you need to.
It just makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't understand. I don't want to get into a rant about it, but
Yeah.
it's just, I'm going to anyways. I just feel like it's just so stupid. You can't get strong by doing 15 reps of a snatch terribly and then being like, oh yeah, that's really good.
Double guns.
Yeah, it's just like, no. If
Yeah.
you want to be strong, you need to get strong. Like,
Yeah.
just, it's not hard. You just have to have, you need to work hard. You need to do ones, twos, threes, waves, whatever. You're not going to get a big snatch by doing 15 reps at bloody 20% of your RM. It doesn't mean anything. There's no transfer over. And I feel like anybody who thinks about it in any sense will be like, oh yeah, that actually doesn't make any sense. But nobody thinks about it. So it's stupid.
Because I've never cycled a barbell, but because I can lift what I can lift, moving a 60-kilo bar for a snatch is like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
it's fine.
how do you want me to move it? I want you to do 6 power snatches with it touch and go.
Yeah.
Or I want you to do 30. Okay.
Sure thing.
Okay, let's go. Like, yeah, you need to be fitter, but because we're already so strong, it's like, oh, it's okay, it's a 60-kilo barbell.
Yeah.
It's like when you get thrusters with 30 kilos, you know, okay, well, it may as well be an empty bar. Let's do it.
And it's just a question of fitness then. It's not a question of strength.
Yeah. So if you want to be able to move a bar for a loads of reps or on a silly complex of like 3 cleans, 2 front squats and a jerk, if you can clean and jerk 180,
I think you'll be all right.
You'll be able to move 150 in a complex.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
And this is why, like, you see CrossFitters, because of this specific problem, who have, like, their RM is the same as their, like, 4 RM, 3 RM. Like, it's because they're so inefficient and they've never been taught to have, I don't know, self-control and strength with higher numbers, that they're just able to do that. And I think that people see that as like a funny thing when actually you're just wasting a lot of potential, because if you're able to move something for 4, you should be able to do a lot more than that for 1, and it would be beneficial to you to do that. So
because then when you try to move the thing for 4 again,
feels
like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know that tomorrow we've got to do, it'll end up being 7 touch and go snatches.
Squat snatches, by the way.
Squat snatches in an EMOM after we do 7 power snatches in an EMOM first with no rest.
By the way, just to let you know how hard that's been.
Yeah, I was just saying that out loud has made me not want to train tomorrow. I know that it's only going to be a matter of fitness and grit to hold on to the bar.
Yeah.
Determination to hold on to the bar. Because if it's at 80 kilos, it's like, well, I snatch 140, so
yeah, you'll be all right.
I can do this.
Yeah.
You just have to be determined to do it. Whereas if you get 80 kilos come up and your best snatch is 84, this is what happens in CrossFit, and people just wing wally it up like scarecrows and people with no bones in their arms, just like all over the place. It just makes no sense. Get fucking strong, snatch as a man, like 120 plus, and as a woman, what? I don't know, 80?
Yeah.
Like high 70s, 80. Work your ass off, 100 kilo clean and jerk, maybe?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Well, I think if you do like 95 or 90, it's already pretty good.
Yeah, between 90 and 100 on clean and jerk. The same for men. Like, get yourself strong. Get yourself a 120 and a 160 or a 125, 160 total snatch and clean and jerk. And then no matter what cycling comes up with a barbell, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. But anyways, I understand what you're saying.
That went completely off topic.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd bring it back. The natural progression is that we go there.
Yeah.
The natural progression is that we go to another gym.
Oh, grit. I don't know what you're talking about.
The natural progression is that we go to another gym. But I think it's just going to be, I don't think it's going to be like an intentional change. I think it will just happen over time because of the things that we're going to get busy with, because of other things. And I don't see myself being like, one day I'm going to go to grit now. I'm not going to keep doing what we're doing. I think it's just going to happen over time. And like, it's not something that needs to be forced. It's just like life and whatever.
But after your competition next week, we have things going on in life that are going to be picking up, exciting things. But then also, then you don't have to worry about, because at the moment, I know you want to keep just training at our gym, just stay comfortable and keep working. And then after that, we can go back to the gyms that we visited recently. And if we really do find that we enjoy training somewhere else and it's got more to offer, like you have ladies that you can train with
Yeah.
who are at a similar level to you that can push you, and there's other guys there who are like unbelievably good for me to actually look up to and think, okay, that's where I have to be,
Yeah.
and then that's what we should do. Okay, but I think we should probably wrap it up now
Yeah.
because we're not actually talking about what we came here to talk about. Get yourself a good program, but be vigilant.
Yeah. Good word. Yeah.
I don't really know how to
I
follow
think
it.
I think vigilant is when you
Diligent.
yeah, because vigilant is like when
Yeah,
you
good
have
word.
vigilant
You
is like
say a
when you
word.
watch out.
Hypothetical. Juxtaposition. Yeah, do your due diligence with your program and take the time to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself. Anyway,
We'll get you guys in the next
see you in
episode.
the next one. Thanks for listening or watching.
We
Bye.
see you.
See
Bye.
you. Hang on. Thumbs up for the video. Does it bring up the little...
Yeah!
Woo! Party time! The last time we said that, it did the balloons and stuff. Oh my god. Okay, see ya.